ASITA Inbound Tourism Talk is our weekly webinar series. Our weekly webinar series is discuss about the latest issue in Indonesian tourism, particularly in the inbound tourism. And today, we hope by having all of our distinguished guests from and speakers from Middle East, we can get the insight about what is the Saudi or Middle East traveler preference after the COVID-19. Selamat siang Bapak dan Ibu, selamat bergabung di ASITA Inbound Tourism Talk. Hari ini kita memasuki episode yang kelima. Dan pada hari ini kita membahas sebuah topik yang sangat menarik tentang apakah traveler atau turis dari Middle East akan mengunjungi Indonesia atau akan datang ke Indonesia setelah masa pandemi COVID-19 ini berakhir. Hari ini kita kedatangan tamu yang luar biasa. Saya akan menyapa kepada yang terhormat Bapak Sigit Wicaksono. Beliau adalah Direktur Promosi Regional 3 dari Kemenparekraf Republik Indonesia. Kemudian yang terhormat juga Ibu Ketum DPP ASITA yang kita banggakan, yang terhormat Ketua DPP ASITA yang saya banggakan. Kemudian Miss Nour Aridi, beliau adalah VITO for Middle East country. Good afternoon, Miss Nour Aridi, or good morning in good morning. Dubai. Mr. Moustafa Enany, as a VITO for Saudi Arabia. Good morning, Mr. Moustafa Enany.
Good morning from Saudi.
Yeah. Pak Igor Da Lamas, selamat sore Pak Igor.
Selamat sore.
Independent travel consultant who lives in Bali. So, thank you very much for all of you who have joined our webinar series today. And before we start the discussions, I would like to ask our chair of ASITA, Dr. N. Rusmiati, MSE, to deliver a welcome message to all of us. Ibu Ketum, silakan Bu.
Good morning. Yeah, good afternoon and good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Om Swastiastu, Salam, Nama Budaya, Salam Kebajikan, di Indonesia saja, di Indonesia, Bangga ASITA, Approach ASITA. Thank you very much. Honorable Country Manager VITO Middle East, Ms. Nour Aridi, thank you very much for your time. And then Honorable Independent Travel Consultant, Mr. Igor Da Lamas, thank you very much. And then also Mr. Khalid, Mr. Yusuf, Mr. Bilal, thank you very much. Also our moderator Bu Masrura, Pak Ali Siwon also, terima kasih. Pak Dadang, Bu Alina, thank you very much for your time. Also thank you for 34 Province ASITA chapter and 50 cities region throughout Indonesia. And then also ASITA DPP board member and all our member. Thank you. I cannot mention one by one. Thank you very much for your time and join for our discussion. Very good afternoon in Indonesia and good morning in Saudi. Thank you. I'm very appreciate because in Saudi right now maybe 9:30 is too early for you, but you can join. I'm very appreciate. Thank you. I know you woke up in the afternoon. I know exactly your habit, but I'm very appreciate for your come and join this ASITA Inbound Talk Tourism. And then a greeting from Association of the Indonesia Tour and Travel Agency, ASITA. It is just for information, ASITA has seven travel agent members. You know, you can imagine we have 7,000 travel agent members. And then it is a good opportunity we discuss today. And then maybe we just mention what Indonesia famous for. It's Indonesia International Tourism Campaign. It focusing and tropical destination. Indonesia is tropical destination, blue sky, and culture attraction. And then also why I need the Middle East market, because I know Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates have 31 million population with a good spending power. The most important with the spending power, and always came to Indonesia about 2 weeks, sometimes more than 1 month. And thank you for that one. And then the government also need the longer, because we stay, if from Saudi Arabia stay here, so it means you can spend a lot of money in Indonesia, especially for 34 province. And then we know also Malaysia is very popular destination for you, but right now, please come to Indonesia, because if you already come to Malaysia, it is only not more than 2 hours. Please promote who came to Malaysia, please come to Indonesia also. That is the point. And then, the promote to the best option to promote Indonesia to identify. One is travel agent in Middle East that promote identify to Malaysia, Indonesia. In Indonesia we make a good package and also the good price, and also we have a lot of choices for like the hotel 5-star until the 2-star, and then also the price we can negotiate for the competitive price. And right now also thank you Pak Sigit, temporary official director promotion of Regional 3, Mr. Sigit. Also, we always work together with the government. For your just information, ASITA always discuss with the government who solve the problem, and then also how to make a service to our guests. That's all. Terima kasih teman-teman untuk yang Indonesia. Mudah-mudahan ASITA Inbound Top Tourism ini bisa bermanfaat bagi anggota ASITA, dan mudah-mudahan ini adalah minggu pertama kita mencoba mengundang VITO. Walaupun kita sebetulnya sudah sering berkomunikasi, tapi ini betul-betul hari ini adalah lebih fokus, dan mudah-mudahan ini diteruskan oleh oleh provinsi dan negara-negara lain. Karena di ASITA ini juga nanti ada tim dari sekarang Middle East, dari Asia, dari Eropa, dari Australia nanti bergantian, sehingga kita betul-betul untuk inbound di Indonesia ini yang terdiri dari 34 provinsi akan bermanfaat bagi anggota. Dan kita harapkan untuk saat ini memang yang diinikan oleh pemerintah difokuskan untuk lokal, namun mudah-mudahan next year kita sudah bisa mendatangkan inbound. Amin. Itu aja dari saya. Terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you. Thank you.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you. The chairs of ASITA, Ibu Dr. Rusmiati. The next, we will all hear from the Honorable Mr. Sigit Wicaksono, Temporary Officer for Director Promotion of Regional 3, Minister of Tourism and Economic Creative of Republic Indonesia. Mr. Sigit, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang, very good afternoon, good morning Pak Moustafa and Bu Nour ya. Selamat siang Bu Ketum ASITA, Bu Dr. Rusmiati, Bu Masrura, Bu Alina, dan Pak Igor ya, Bapak Ibu sekalian ya. Sebelumnya saya mohon maaf, mohon izin ya, karena setelah ini mau ada pertemuan di jam 2 dengan parlemen. Jadi mungkin setelah ini mungkin saya mohon izin ya, karena sudah kelanjutan dari hearing dengan DPR kemarin. Jadi ini berlanjut sore siang ini. Terima kasih sekali lagi. We thank you very much. We highly appreciate the initiative of ASITA inviting us ya, the ministry as well as our VITO ya. Because VITO also part of the ministry. They are our eyes and our ears in the market. Yeah, Today you invite two from Middle East and also from Saudi Arabia, and actually we just had discussion yesterday with all the VITO, and we always keep monitoring what happened in market, as well as we also share the update of destinations. This is important to all of us. We know that ASITA also very care about the welcoming if the condition is better later on, and we expect it is so sooner or later then we will come back tourists foreign visitor from Middle East, Saudi Arabia, and also other market as well. We hope for the best. For right now, if we can share with you that we are in the process of developing, preparing our destination. We expect last month from May to June we did a webinar for all the market 14 market, including Middle East, and we have also Ibu Nour as our moderator at the event. We will continue this activity as well, and later on we also have a plan to have a seller meeting. So this is also the opportunity for ASITA to join with the ministry, and of course we like not only we have share information on the readiness of the destination, but on other way around, we like to give and share market update, market information to the industry here. This is also important for both sides. So once again, we welcome this because Middle East, as already mentioned by Ibu Rusmiati, one of the important market for Indonesia, and as we know that after pandemic, we expect much more for quality tourism. So this is what we can tap, the segment for Middle East and Saudi Arabia, quality tourism. This is one of the key that we like to have more, with the length of stay longer, and also the high spending and other related things. This is also important. So I believe that all the participants here are very much aware of the situation of the Middle East. We hope that for the better conditions soon, in Saudi Arabia especially, because the highest now in Saudi Arabia, and then followed by Qatar, and then UAE, and Indonesia is almost the same as UAE, the situation right now. So we hope the better condition there in Middle East and here also in Indonesia. So we, when the border is open, we are also ready for doing our business. This is what we expect, and I believe ASITA members and all the industry related also expecting. I believe that I can share for. I'm very sorry, because I will not join the discussion, but I will expect the success, for this discussion. And if Ibu Ketum, Ibu Rusmiati, and all ASITA will do have other activities like this, then we also welcome, for any other market that you plan to do so. I think that is all that I can say. I believe Ms. Nour, and Pak Moustafa will share more update details for you all. Thank you very much. Syukron. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much, Mr. Sigit Wicaksono. I believe that we have already insight about the Saudian or Middle East market from your side. And unfortunately, he will not longer stay with us because he got another appointment with the Indonesian Parliament. Anyway, Mr. Sigit Wicaksono, thank you so much for attending our discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished speakers, Middle East market is one of the important inbound market for Indonesian tourism. And in this, at this moment, we like to hear from our distinguished speaker from Middle East countries, what is actually the preference from the Middle East traveler when they choose Indonesia as their destination, and what we have to prepare in order to welcome more and more inbound tourism from Middle East. So we do hope from this afternoon discussion, we can get the insight from all the our distinguished speaker. So as a travel agent, as a member of ASITA, or as a member of Indonesians, part of the Indonesian stakeholder tourism, we can prepare for that. We do hope that we can grow this market is more in the near future. So for the first speaker, I would like to invite Ms. Nour Aridi. She is a VITO for Middle East country. Ms. Nour will inform us what is the latest conditions, and we will follow by the discussions later when she's finished her speaker. Ms. Nour, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ibu Masrura. Actually, I would like to say hello from Dubai, United Arab Emirates, and from the whole Middle East. It's very hot in here, but I believe it's the same in Indonesia. Just to start with, we Middle Eastern, we love Indonesia. This has, we have no doubt about it, so just please be assured. And Pa Moustafa will tell you a little bit more also about Saudi, especially your main market, huge market. So let's start actually. So we know we all have been through this COVID-19 unfortunate situation at the moment. But so far, I really want to put the high hopes for the Middle East market. So at the moment, we do have kind of good news, as we do have airlines that are opening. So we started in different phases, and I believe it was everywhere the same also in Indonesia and worldwide. So we had the phases of repatriation, and now we'll have domestic travel, and then some opening for international border to receive. I would like, if possible, just to share with you my screen. So just to give you an idea, is that possible?
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
You can do it from your computer.
Perfect.
Listener, yeah.
So let me know as soon as you see it appearing.
Yeah, we started now.
All right, perfect. So it just, I want to share with you a little bit, a small survey that company has done here for the Middle East, but mainly for UAE, especially, and a bit of Kuwait. So it's just to show you the sentiment of travel, that how people are reacting to the coronavirus. And for example, that first question that has been asked was, how would the corona crisis affect your future holiday travel behavior? And as you can see, we have a majority of 55% that answer that the safety and hygiene are central to my travel decision, followed by 34% that agree. So we are on the right path, especially for Indonesia, because I know that Indonesia is taking very good the safety measure and hygiene. Then we do have the question that pop up, which was, where would you go for holidays? So only 25% mentioned they will not go in 2020, which is okay. We only have like 5 almost months left. But 75% are mentioning that they will go on holidays. The main destination are actually our neighboring country, and is similar mainly worldwide with this post-COVID. So they will travel to Egypt. So from the UAE, they'll go to Saudi, especially for as a holiday destination. And now Saudi is opening to a lot of tourism to receive. Then some will actually stay within the UAE and other places in the Middle East. And the number of nights or day trip that will happen, so some, only 2% say day trip. So we have a good 98% that will stay overnight stays. So it actually shows that we do have hope in Indonesia in the future, because we are a long-haul destination. So nobody will go for 1 or 2 days in Indonesia, but then they will do many overnight stays. And here, how would the increase screening time? So, you know, UAE especially, it's taking very deeply the concern about hygiene and screening, and then PCR tests, you know, about this COVID-19. So, so they asked the question how it will affect the time in the airport. So we do have actually 31% that mentioned that they will travel less. However, we do have, and also so this 31% that we mentioned will travel less, we actually think that they will be the one traveling by family, so they don't want to stay in a queue in screening. But then the good thing we'll also have, like some mentioned that they will cancel the holidays, but we do believe is only for 2020. And what will make you choose a specific holiday destination, so 55% you can see has actually mentioned safety. I do believe, so you must know from this market, especially UAE, Qatari, they love to go, for example, to Bali. And also we have all Lebanese, Egyptians that also living in the Middle East. We have a lot of community of expatriates. For example, in UAE and Qatar, 90% of our population is expatriate. So you might see also a lot from Jordan, Egypt, Lebanon that will travel to Indonesia, but all will choose, of course, safety. And here is actually very good for Indonesia, because we do have what type of attraction or activity would you like to visit during your holidays. And the good thing is that 49% mention relax and unwind. Well, this is the best destination for Indonesia. And I believe also for Pa Igor with us from Bali, because Bali is the #1 destination for us. So to relax and unwind, nature and outdoor activity, Indonesia fits for all, for within all this outdoor activity and visiting family and friends. So we are actually in Indonesia in a choice of top 2 for relaxing and nature and outdoor activity, and spa, wellness also, etc. And so, of course, for the following measure, they will expect from travel providers, and I believe it's very important from our side as travel Indonesian suppliers, that to be flexible in cancellation or changing policies, as 69% will mention that they will affect actually their booking for holidays, and of course social distancing in common areas. So always hygiene is there. And the offers, I think this could actually help you, all of you here in this webinar today. So they will be interesting. So 48% are interested in the packages. So what are you able to offer to our Middle Eastern, especially, I'm just talking on behalf of UAE, mainly Kuwait and all the region. Saudi, I will leave it to Pa Moustafa. It will be mildly different. So 48% packages means like some of them will like maybe all-inclusive resort, half-board offers, accommodation plus tour activity, etc., air and hotel. So we need to take in consideration of what the demand of the market is willing actually for Indonesia. And here a quick update. Actually, it's a good timing today to do this webinar, because it's a lucky day for UAE especially. Etihad Airways actually resumed passenger flight as of today to over 40 destinations. And Emirates also resumed as of today to more than 62 destinations, knowing that already some has started flying on the 23rd of June. Qatar Airways resumed some of the flights, and then to over destination, and Fly Dubai to from the 5th of June actually. So that was actually my part that I wanted to share with you. So it's just actually to show you how really this is actually a very, very good and positive from the Middle East, because we have started to fly. Of course, there is a lot of regulation that the UAE mainly airport has imposed. So UAE citizens can travel normally. They only have to declare a form online. And then on the way back, on arrival in the airport, they will have to do a PCR test. If they, of course, test positive, they will have to be in quarantine. And then, for example, we have the Kuwait airport that will reopen on the 1st of August, and so many. So we are quite positive. We will see a change. We believe it will not be a massive change, but we are on the right path for traveling internationally. This is from the Middle East. If you have any question, I'm ready to answer.
Okay, Ms. Nour, thank you so much for your wonderful presentation. I think we will also have another speaker to also deliver the presentations, and then when we finish the session, and then we can have a discussion with others. Perfect. Yeah. So thank you so much, Ms. Nour. Next, I will ask Mr. Moustafa El Enany, VITO from Saudi Arabia, to deliver the presentation. Mr. Moustafa, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Ibu Masrura, and thanks for Ibu Alina as well. I always love to see Ibu Alina in Saudi Arabia. She's always there every time with us. And we have a very long relation now for the last, I would say, 7 years. We know each other, and we've been exchanging a lot of insights on the market. So just to start, I will try to make it simple for everyone. Saudis love Indonesia, and they consider Indonesia is one, or actually the home outside the home, and they have a nickname for Indonesia. So when you see Saudis talking to each other, and he's asking, one is asking his friend, and he say, "Where are you going this summer?" He will say, "I'm going to Aldera." So Aldera means the other home, you know, or my second home. And that's how they name Indonesia. So for them, Indonesia is the second home. And when you talk to Saudis, you have a lot of Saudis that can talk Bahasa, and they can really understand well. And there was a love for Indonesia in the Saudi hearts long time ago. But when we started in 2016, I represent as well Accor Hotels, which is very big chain of hotels, and this was the vision of the ministry, to have someone which have big expertise on the market and have big presence in Indonesia and in Saudi Arabia as well, to push for the Saudi market. And we started the dream in 2016, and we said it's all about perception. That was the problem. And that's why we were having less numbers of Saudi going year over year to Indonesia, because of the perception. And we start to change the perception of Indonesia in the platforms of Saudi Arabia, because you understand, let's not hide it. The vision for Indonesia was, it's a country that push laborers to Saudi Arabia, and it was not perceived as a proper tourism destination. And we started since 2016 to work together with Ipunia, Pasigit, and all the travel agents to try to change this perception and make people understand that Indonesia today is a very strong destination, tourism destination, and very strong tourism hub. So we have put together a lot of actions, and let's all not forget that Saudi Arabia, especially, which represents almost 70% of the business from Middle East going to Indonesia, is more of a B2C driven market. It is not really B2B driven one. So they really love to go online. They love to go to booking.com. They love to go to Expedia and try to check for their bookings. Still, you have almost 35%, which is very classic work by a travel agent in Saudi Arabia. And if we talk about 35% of Saudis love to go through travel agents, then we have a big number, because Saudi today is 33 million citizens, and it's one of the biggest population among the GCC. And those 33 million, they are all traveling. I would say everyone travels in Saudi. We have people in Saudi that take loans to travel, and then they will stay for one full year paying for the loan after. So traveling is a key for Saudis. However, our problem is to approach them. So I love today to see more than 90 people from the travel agents to really give them the message that if you want to really push and have more business from the Saudi market, you really need to approach them. we do a lot of events, and unfortunately, I have to say, I only see Alina and a couple of other travel agents every time in Saudi, but we don't have people coming. When we see people from Malaysia, for example, they come like 20 agents every 3-4 months, and they start to be in very much contact with Saudi Arabia. I understand that there is a lot as well of obstacles, which was the visa and how to enter Saudi. The cost of the visa was very high as well. But end of the day, the ministry tried to put now the offices everywhere in Saudi, in UAE, and in different GCC countries under Nour. It's just to help you guys. So please reach to Nour, reach to me, and we will really put you in contact. I would say, let me quickly give you feedback. Before COVID, things was moving fine. After COVID, there is a change on the habits in Saudi Arabia. I would say it's very close to what Nour have mentioned. I will share with you as well the latest survey that had been conducted in Saudi Arabia. So I hope you can see my screen now. So if
yes,
we
we can
go,
see your screen.
Yeah, if we go today to Saudi Arabia and we discuss, you will see that still we have 28% of people very confident that they will travel as soon as the restriction is eased and airports are open. So they don't see any difference of staying in Saudi than traveling to somewhere else. This comes from two things. They love traveling, they are addicted to traveling, and they trust their government as well, because the government of Saudi have really done a very good job in terms of repatriating people from any destination they were on. So from this trust and from the love to traveling, you have 28% of people still confident as soon as they will ease the restriction, people will start to travel back to normal. You have still a big chunk, which is 45%, somehow confident. This means that when they have the signs or when they have the motive that will help them to take the decision, they are ready to take the decision to travel. They are easygoing and they can still travel. So if you put them together, you have almost 73% of people that can really travel, which is a very good sign after COVID. I would say, again, on the motive, what will help them to take the decision. So again, it's what the countries are doing in terms of social distancing, personal protective equipment, and those type of things. So please, on your promotions, please make sure that you talk about safety. Make sure you show and you reflect that people are really the travel agents team that's gonna meet people in the airport, the driver that can take them. All those type of things will impact the decision of people to choose where to go and how to do it. Again, airports is a very important thing. People are not afraid from the destination, but people are afraid from the distance taken in the flight, as well as are afraid on the impact during the airport phase. So that's very important to talk to the team, and I think the ministry start to work on this as well. But you need to talk to the airport to show as well and to reflect the airport authority to reflect a very strong safety measures and to show it to people. This type of things is very important. Don't think that if you show the hotels are doing their job. I know because I work on a hotel side as well. So hotels are doing their job, and destination travel agents still gonna do their job. But if the airport is not doing the job as well, which is a big 55% of people are still afraid of what's gonna happen on the airport on the flight. So please try to give the voice and reflect this to the necessary authorities. Again, experts and influencers play a very big role. So I'm working together with Nour, I think, and the team of the ministry to have a very strong influential plan and campaign, because this again will impact the motive and the decision of people to go through the travel. And again, I think in the favor of Indonesia is the medical record, what happened during COVID-19. I think Bali is one of the safest destinations worldwide and one of the very least destination that had been impacted. So Bali for everyone is a target today. So that's an amazing news and very helpful, thanks God, for Indonesia to have a very low number of infections despite the large number of population. And that will have a good impact for people to decide Indonesia as a destination. They might choose destination like Bali versus Jakarta, and it might be more favored. And that's what we hear in the market here, that people will fly to Bali as soon as they can. And there is a big discussion with Saudi Airlines to see if they need to open a route to Bali to overcome the less number that will go to Jakarta at that time. So that's when it comes to this type of statistics. Again, you can see that 40% again, which is targeting, they can take short haul between 1 to 3 hours. So that's not in our favor. However, still we have 19% of all people that responded. They are ready to take the long haul flight. Again, it depends on which flight, because I'm sure that people here will prefer somehow to take Emirates, and Emirates is really pushing a lot of efforts, and Saudi Airlines is following as well. But if they open the route of Bali, this will impact and change the statistics a bit. I love to see this slide because it's very, very, I would say, balanced, and you can see that again, 38% is ready to go and take their vacation in Southeast Asia and in Asia in general. And honestly, when you talk about Asia, we have Indonesia, which is on top of everything. So that's a very comfortable numbers, and it's very balanced. When I say balanced, you see that the same amount of people which prefer to remain domestically within GCC is again equal to the same amount of people which is ready to travel today. That's something was related to the domestic one, so I don't think that this will be really helpful. So again, just to summarize everything that we have discussed, guys, two things are very important today. Is to get connected to people in Saudi, to get connected in terms of travel agents, because again, travel agents in Saudi, they know one or two, or I would say not more than 10 travel agents in Indonesia. And in terms of offering, that's something very key and very important. So if you don't get connected with people, we are really losing a big chunk. Let's not, I love when we start to talk, people, Rusumaki, when you start to talk about Malaysia, but Malaysia is not your competitor today. That was part of the past. And that's our problem, guys. Our problem is not, we're not looking to the right future. Your competitor is not anymore Malaysia. Your competitor is not anymore Singapore or even Southeast Asia. Your competitor is the new emerging markets, which is coming in CIS or in West Europe. So your real competitor today is Georgia, is Armenia, is Azerbaijan. Those people are your real competitor when it comes to comparison, because people, when they start to think of a vacation, you say, okay, I'm gonna go to Indonesia, let me calculate different perspectives. So flight of 9 hours, cost of the flight, I go there to the country, I've seen it before, and it's not open, you know, because there is a lot of information which is coming from the government as well. Sometimes they say they're gonna close the nightclubs, they're gonna close the bars, they're gonna close. We receive a lot of information from Indonesia, which some of them is fake, but some of them as well create negative impact. Or I take the destination, 3 hours flight, very cheap, economical one, a very nice country. I'm still in Europe. I can do everything. I can enjoy. I can live my life. So that's very important, you know. Saudis as well, their mindset had changed a lot. It's not like Saudis before. Again, we are not the people again that wake up anymore in the afternoon or at night. So we are people that wake up 6 o'clock. We go for a sport. We do a lot of activity. Saudi changed. You can see the change that happened. And who can imagine that traveling to Saudi Arabia today is much more easier than going to Dubai? Because Saudi, since they open 59 countries visa on arrival, and they can give you the visa in 5 minutes for 1 year. Who can imagine that this could happen? No one can ever imagine that going to Saudi would be much more easier than going to Dubai today. And it's very easy. If you are Indonesian and you have a Schengen visa, you can enter Saudi. You can just take the visa on arrival. You don't need to do anything. So there is a lot of changes of habits. And that's why I'm telling, let's look for our real competitor to be able to understand what we need to do. And that's a message that we give every time to the ministry. We give to our hotels everywhere. Let's really identify who is the competition today. People is not thinking of Malaysia anymore the same way that they were thinking before. And I think Indonesia have a lot of the pillars that can make it more stronger than any Southeast Asian destination today. In terms of number of hotels, in terms of safety environment, in terms of friendlessness of people, in terms of activities could be done, variety and diversity of destinations. And honestly, when you look to Bali today, and I will let Nour talk about it, I'm again seeing it from different countries like Egypt, like Oman, and people is really in love with Bali. And really people is looking for Bali as one of the top honeymoon destination, for example. We'd never work together to promote Bali as a honeymoon destination. Unfortunately, when it comes to honeymoon, you will see Maldives, Mauritius, and those are the two key honeymoon destinations for GCC and Middle East, because those people are putting a lot of effort to focus on marketing their destination under special pillars or special use. And I've never seen Bali promoted as honeymoon destination. It was always promoted as a very nice beach resort destination, very nice spa and wellness, but we've never put Bali as the right honeymoon destination and create a destination offer. We'd never have a destination offer. We're always having individual hotel offers or individual travel agent offers. But tomorrow, if we really need to penetrate markets, we need to have a destination offer. You guys, most of you are presented in different associations and on governmental roles, and that's something needs to be done, is to work as a destination rather than working as an individual hotels or individual travel agents. So that's all. I think things will come back to normal. It will just take time. You don't need to change the way that you were doing before to attract more Saudis. You just need to change your marketing profile. And you need really to focus on social media, because today Saudi Arabia is one of the key social interactive platforms. So if we talk about social media, you need to be very aggressive on Facebook, because Saudi are one of the key countries using Facebook for advertisement. You need to work very much on Twitter, because Twitter again is one of the key social platforms. I would say, again, to show you that things are changing, I would tell you TikTok. No one was talking about TikTok like 6 months ago, but now it's one of the key advertisement. I can see you laughing, Ibu Masrura, because no one believes that TikTok will move that fast and become a very strong social channel that people can promote products and can promote destination and can promote their offers. But again, please guys, try to think differently, try to work on social media. I can connect you with a lot of groups that we have in Saudi Arabia for travel agents if you want. So we have multiple WhatsApp groups that have all the people working in travel industry in Saudi Arabia. We have Facebook groups that have a lot of travel agents in Saudi Arabia working on. We have multiple channels as well. YouTube is very key. So YouTube needs to be really focused for the use today on Saudi Arabia. And let's change again the way that we were doing the business, because today you have to think of different ways to connect with people. I'll give you one key hint in terms of numbers. So you know that almost 65% of the business is coming online, is not passing via B2B intermediaries. So you need to find a way that you can supply rooms into your destination to Booking.com, Expedia, and those different providers. Then if you focus on the other 35%, which is still come on B2B side, you need to find a way to connect the 4 key players on the market, which is SERA, which is hotel beds, destination of the world, and lots of hotels, and GTA. Those 4 B2B connector, you need to find a way to work with them. Last year, I think in the ministry, we did a huge campaign on Middle East, especially in Saudi as well. We spent more than $100,000 with hotel beds to market Bali as a destination and to push for Bali and Jakarta. And you need to find a way, guys, to connect with those people, because you can connect with 4 clients only. They will give you almost 99% of this 35% of the business if you succeed to connect to them on the right way. And people who will change the way that they're doing business will be the people which are taking the biggest chunk from today until end of 2023, which is really the period that we think that the pandemic will still have an impact for those coming 2 years.
Yeah.
The last thing I would say, just to close, sorry for being too long, but the last thing to say, in every situation like this, or in every crisis, there is always an opportunity. So yeah. I would see the opportunity where we have today from the pandemic, and it put us away from each other physically. It connects us much more easier and more closely virtually.
Yeah.
And I would really recommend that ASITA today can put another webinar where I can bring a lot of your partners from Saudi Arabia as travel agents, and put you all together on a virtual day, I would say. And it will be very hard. We need to organize it well, because when you have multiple partnerships, it might go out of control. But really, we can put you with another 50 or 60 agents from Saudi Arabia, and we can put you another webinar with the team from Sarah and with Hotel Beds. They will be able to give you the real insights on the business transaction. We can give you insights, me and Nour, about the market, about the demographics. But if we do another webinar with Sarah, for example, I can invite the team from Sarah and Nour. I think she is very close to Hotel Beds.
Yeah.
And we can do those type of webinars. I think this is an opportunity today, because it's very easy to connect in a click of a button with those type of people that you cannot see them before the pandemic, because it was very tough.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. I would leave the chance to the other presenters, and I will remain on silent until the question and answer.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Moustafa. It was very, it's a very wonderful presentation. And especially for the last that you have mentioned, that we're going to arrange another webinar to have more closely about the insight and have a more connected with the other Saudi travel agent. I think it's very good opportunity for us, ASITA, to have another webinars with your site. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, we now going for the next the third speakers, Bapak Igor. Bapak Igor Da Lamas. Yeah, this time is yours, Pak Igor.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon from Bali, and good morning for Ms. Nour and also Mr. Moustafa in UAE and Saudi Arabia. I think the presentation from Ibu Nour and also Mr. Moustafa is very excited. Actually, these are the things that me and Ibu Alina, actually, when we discussed last night about what is actually the right time to put for our webinar today, for our meeting today. And we come up with this time. And I'm not surprised that the data shows, or the statistics shows that there is a huge demand from Middle East after COVID, and it's a good opportunity, but rather it's also a challenging time. So on the Indonesian side, as a destination who receiving Middle East market and Saudi Arabia, I think I'm not going to present a lot of things, because I believe you have gained a lot of information about how Indonesia is going to prepare and reopening the destination for all tourists, despite at the moment the border closure is still suspended until today. And but we are working closely with the local government, local authority, and also, of course, under the umbrella of Indonesian Tourism Ministry Office, to really push and prepare the destination, especially Bali and those others selected by the central government, to become a pilot project for our reopening, because the government has decided to put Bali, Yogyakarta, and also Batam under the 3 different clusters, subject to how we manage the COVID-19 pandemic, progressive. And as far as Bali is concerned, I think we are ready by 90 to 95%, as per the ministry, or the Indonesian ministry already visit Bali on the 16 to 18 last June, and he already inspected the area like in Nusa Dua and also airport, and also some other tourist objects, just to make sure that Bali is ready. And according to his view, based on his inspection and his observations, Bali by now is actually ready. But as you can see, that the governor is decided not to open the Bali yet, because he needs to really extra careful to make sure and to make decisions when is the right time to open Bali. But we are a bit released after the meeting with the Tourism Ministry Office, Mr. Wisnu Tama. He delivered a speech that actually giving a high hope to everybody in Bali and also the rest of Indonesia and all other related industry that Bali will be opening. It will be start on the 9 July for the local Balinese. It means the local destination will be opened, restaurant will be opened, and then it will be followed if things are going well, being managed, especially the pandemic of the virus being managed by the local authority, then it will be open for the local domestic, for the domestic market or Indonesian tourists by August. And again, if the virus being controlled properly according to the government guidance, then it will be open for international. So I could say, as far I'm very happy the statement from Mr. Moustafa, all the related data about Bali, that the perceptions about from Saudi towards Indonesia, especially Bali, is very good because of the ability of Bali, both the government and also the population, to safeguard Bali against the COVID-19. And I totally agree with you, because as of 30th June, the total case is 1,493. Fully recovered, being released from the hospital, is 798, which is representing more than 53%. This is the highest in Indonesia out of 34 provinces. And the fatality rate is only 1.2%, which is representing about 14 people died. So this is a very high hope for Bali, and I really hope that the government will decide to open Bali for international market by September, as per, not to say plan, but that the forecast that the government has been saying. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is I'm very happy to hear that Ms. Nour, representing Middle East, mainly UAE, Kuwait, and also Qatar or maybe Oman, and another one is Mr. Moustafa, who has been giving a very full insight about Saudi Arabia market, which I have to honestly confess that we are very lacking about the market profile of both Middle East and Saudi Arabia. But today we have a very bright pictures about the market, the Middle East market, and also Saudi Arabia. Okay, come back to how Indonesia, and especially Bali. That's why I'm putting my slide. I have a very simple slide. It's only 3 slides, because I believe you have all the information from the Indonesian government on the media, on both mainstream and social media. So I just make it, Indonesia is calling you back, because we wanted Middle East and Saudi Arabia to coming back to visiting Indonesia, hopefully first by Bali, and then followed by other destinations that favored by Middle East and also Saudi Arabia. And then I do agree, but that regarding the opening, it might be difficult for us to really hope that Middle East or Saudi Arabia will be coming immediately, because number one, when it comes to market, we have to considering, of course, number one is destination competition, and I'm very happy, because traditionally we considered Malaysia, Thailand, or maybe later on Vietnam becomes our head-to-head competitors. But now, as you said, Mr. Moustafa said, that our new competitors is actually coming from Georgia, Azerbaijan, all this kind of country. Yeah, I understand. And then another issue is about when it comes to long. I believe that when the tourism resume, mostly the Middle East or Saudi Arabia, they will travel short, but we will try our best by using the campaign like Okay, my next slide will be, Bali is actually ready with new normal. And as you can see, or have, if you have read, since 2 months ago, our ministry office already announced that to prepare the opening of Bali, the ministry come up with the new normal under cleanliness, health, and safety. So when it comes to these three, I mean the trilogy of reopening, I believe Bali, as I said, even the minister comes and do the inspection, and he declared that Bali is ready. It means, and we are ready as a destinations.
Yeah.
Yeah. But another thing that we have to consider is the resumption of the flights, because as far as Middle East concerned and Bali, there are only 2 major airlines that are connecting Bali directly, which is Qatar Airways and Emirates Airlines. But as you see from IATA declare, and even I also monitoring the frequency resumption, like Emirates is only planning from, previously they have 4 flights, they will only introduce 1 flight, and likewise also Qatar, previously they have 4 flights, they will only introduce 1 flight. So in that case, it means even Bali is open and even Middle East and Saudi Arabia is willing to come. There is a constraint about the capacity for people to come. According to IATA, IATA survey, in the next one, from the point, say Bali is opening or Indonesia is resumptioning the destination, the airlines will not putting the full capacity. The full capacity will only come back with the next 2 until 3 years. So that means we have to calculate that we will not, by far, we will only be able to receive about 20 until, let's say, being optimistic, about 20 until 35% of the total market that we could make. Okay, and it will be only happening once the border closure being lifted, because as until today, effective April, the government has decided to suspend all the visa on arrival or free visa for almost 186 countries, including Middle East and Saudi Arabia. It means even number one, the flight has the connectivity has to be there. Number two, or it is only available, or it means we only be able to market the destination once the government decided, okay, we open the border. And I hope with the mitigation done by the central government under the Ministry of Health and also Tourism Ministry Office, hopefully by mid of August, we will hear something from the government whether they will open the border or not. Because if they could make some announcement in the middle of August, then the industry will have some time, at least like 2 weeks or 3 weeks to prepare to penetrate the market. Because otherwise, if it is too long, then we might losing the momentum, because other destinations are actually putting the promotions, because they have a more certain schedules when it comes to reopening destinations, like those destinations in like Turkey in Middle East, and also Greece, which will become the next destination for the Middle East if the South Asia, including Indonesia, is not opening, or even they come to Malaysia and Thailand, which is opening their destination faster.
Yeah.
Okay. So and another issue which I believe very important for the industry, and I think ASITA is playing a very important role, and also Tourism Ministry Office, is when it comes to market, we have to prepare ourselves that it is not only Indonesia, it is not only Bali who prepare to welcome the Middle East market or Saudi Arabia market, but the rest of the world are actually competing. So can you imagine when the market resumption and only 20 until 35% of the total market are actually coming back? So we have to compete with other destinations just to get the 35% maximum.
Yeah.
So it's a challenging time. So from my survey or my communication with the market, I found out that there are an issue, a very relative issue. It's about the flexibility, because if you compare with other destinations, say either Malaysia and Thailand, they are now putting the promotion and they're putting the inventory open until until 31 December 2021. But in Indonesia or in Bali, we have still limited like 3 months, 6 months. And the second scenario is about the terms and conditions. So, and this actually, the culprit is actually coming from the hotel industry, because we are, I mean, as far as the tour operator is concerned, we will be, I mean, the tour operators will, of course, selling or presenting whatever terms and conditions available created by the industry. But we really need to speak to the hoteliers, Villa, to provide a more flexibility so we can work together to win the market. Especially when,
Excuse me, Mr. Igor, you have another 2 more minutes.
Okay, because under the uncertainty today, passenger might cancel their flight on the last minute because they are tested positive corona, or maybe the flight canceled. So a full refund or a free cancellation is a mandatory for our industry to be able to compete with other destinations. I think that's all about my presentation, and I hope with all this news, we are really looking forward to welcome you to Indonesia and to welcome you to Bali. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Igor. Wonderful presentation from Mr. Igor from Bali. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, before we start our discussions, I would like to hear from our colleague, Ibu Alina Saidja Puteri. She's from the Middle East Market Division, ASITA. So, Bu Alina, before we start the discussion, the time is yours, Bu Alina.
Miss Nour, and also I see here Mr. Khalid, Mr. Abdullah, Miss Nora, and some of the tour operator in Saudi and in Middle East. Actually, Ibu Masrura, I don't want to give some presentation, but I will ask some of the question from the VITO. I want to know from Miss Nour Aridi how to gain the trust from Middle East traveler. What is the most important aspect that need to be shared? Because we want to know that. And also how the travel agent in Indonesia can share their product in Middle East online platform. Because as we know, it is not really easy for us, travel agent in Indonesia, to put our product in the Middle East platform. So can VITO help us about this? And also to Mr. Moustafa, how Saudi people think about Indonesia? When is the perfect time for us to promote to the tour operator? So I think because we don't open our border until September, so when is the perfect time?
The best time, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I hope as our colleagues tell that only few tour operator from Indonesia who always promote Indonesia, but the market is really big. So in this webinar, I ask all of you to join ASITA to promote Indonesia and get some tourists from Middle East and Saudi. Yeah. Okay, so that's all the question now from yeah. And also Bu Masrura, maybe after this we have to welcome also one travel agency from Saudi, but he cannot speak in English or Indonesia. Maybe maybe because he can only speak in Arabic, I think, Mr. Khalid.
Mr. Khalid. Okay, thank you, Bu Alin. Okay, Mr. Alin, Mr. Khalid, if you can hear me, we going to open your mute. Mr. Khalid is one of the travel agent in Saudi. So maybe you want to say something to our colleagues in Indonesia, Mr. Khalid?
Yes. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Selamat pagi dari Saudi, selamat siang dari Indonesia.
Ahlan wa sahlan.
أتكلم العربية. السلام عليكم جميعا.
وعليكم السلام يا خير.
أنا سعيد بهذا اللقاء وأشكركم على الدعوة. أنا أتحدث باسمي كسائح وليس كصاحب شركة. ما ينقص السياحة الإندونيسية كثير. لي قرابة 20 سنة نفقد الكثير من التغيير في السياحة الإندونيسية.
Pak Dadang bisa bantu terjemah, Pak? Pak Dadang beringin tur.
Beliau Mr. Khalid barusan bilang selamat pagi, selamat siang. Dia salah satu owner agent di Saudi. Dia sudah mengetahui Indonesia 20 tahun. Jadi dia dari 20 tahun sudah membawa turis ke Indonesia. 20
Wah,
tahun
luar biasa.
Ya, garis besarnya seperti itu, Bu.
Ya, oke.
نحتاج تغيير من المطار باستقبال السائح العربي عموما، الاستقبال الجيد، عدم يعني استغلال السائح أثناء الدخول في المطار. عانيت كثير يعني من أثناء الدخول عند الجوازات، عند الجمارك. نحتاج إلى يعني دخول السائح واثق في هذا البلد.
Silakan Pak Dadang.
Jadi begini Bu, jadi Indonesia emang ya betul tadi dikatakan Pak Igor itu emang bukan Pak Igor, Mr. Moustafa. Jadi emang Indonesia itu second home-nya
orang Saudi.
Iya. Cuman permasalahannya dia udah terbang jauh, pesawat sampai kadang-kadang dia banyak kendala di bandara. Nah itu keimigrasian udah nunggu 1 jam, nah itu yang banyak itu. Ya itu udah saya nggak bisa mungkin bicarain lagi. Kami pemain medal ini sangat mengetahui sekali, ya gitu udah rahasia umum. Tafadhal ya Habibi.
Ya.
السائح العربي أو خصوصا السعودي، أنا أتكلم عن السعودي، يعني ينقصه التعريف بالسياحة الإندونيسية، لأنه الغالب يخرج بدون مكاتب سياحية، يخرج عن طريق صديق أو عن طريق مجموعة سبقا سافروا إلى إندونيسيا. لا يوجد من يستقبل هذه النوعية من السواح إلى إندونيسيا، لا مكاتب سياحية، فقط يذهب إلى المكتب السياحي في السعودية يأتي بالتذكرة فقط، الباقي يأخذ عن طريق صديق، عن طريق سائق، عن طريق خادمة. لا يوجد بروتوكول للسياحة في إندونيسيا.
Ya, Pak Dadang.
Jadi begini Bu, jadi sebenarnya kebanyakan yang datang ke Indonesia itu sebenarnya maaf ya, jadi travel agent kurang berperan sebenarnya. Jadi dia bilang, jadi semua standar standar pariwisata itu hampir tidak ada untuk market Saudi. Makanya untuk market Saudi itu kurang aman. Barusan dia bilang untuk sekarang ini saya rasa ini tambahin dari 5 tahun lah ke sini sebelah Kemenpar berpromosi. Nah itu kebanyakan itu dari mulut ke mulut, dari temannya datang ke Indonesia. Nah itu banyakan yang jadi datang ke sini banyak ke perorangan. Ya dia mohon protokol standar pariwisata itu kalau bisa lebih dirapikan lagi untuk pelajaran ASITA atau di pemerintahannya sendiri.
Ya, oke, baik. Terima kasih, Mr. Khalid. Thank you so much.
Sama-sama.
Ya, Bapak dan Ibu, kita akan memulai sesi diskusi sebentar lagi. Silakan Bapak dan Ibu yang ingin bertanya, silakan chat dulu atau mengangkat raise hand di Zoom meeting ini. Actually, we only have another 14 minutes before Mr. Moustafa left us because he got another appointment. But I would like Mr. Moustafa to answer the question from Ibu Alin about how the Saudi thinks what is the perfect time to promote Indonesia post-COVID. Mr. Moustafa?
Yeah, thank you, Ibu Masrura. And shukran Khalid, تعقيب مثالي. Shukran. And I was just thanking Khalid as well for the feedback that we have a lot in the market. So quickly to go to Alina's question, I would put the current situation into 3 phases. So phase 1 was the phase where the pandemic was on its outmost, and that's a silent phase. And I think this will end by end of this month, by end of July. And phase 2, where we start to see ease of restriction on the air transport. So Emirates, as Nour mentioned, they are open as of today. Etihad is open as today. Saudi Airline will open as 15th of August. There is, I think Kuwait, as you mentioned, Nour as well, will open the 1st of August. So months of July and August is actually the months that we need to do marketing and not sales. And we don't need really to invest a lot of money. We just need to make silent marketing, to get connected, to do this webinar with other travel agents in Saudi Arabia, Sarah. I would say key is to have Sarah, is to have a couple of the strong hotel beds and those key drivers in the market. So this will be the ideal time to have this interaction and stay connected to your partners in Saudi Arabia in July and August. And I think starting September, you would be able to start to put some tactical campaigns during September, October. So we have people traveling by November and December normally, I hope, inshallah. Yeah. So I would say this is the ideal time for Stay Connect phase, and make sure that we do this type of webinars and have listened to different views like Khalid, like different people from different areas. We need to listen to them and start to work on the infrastructure during the coming 2 months. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Moustafa.
Thank you.
And the second question to Ms. Nour: how to gain the trust and confidence from the Middle East market, and how Indonesian agent can share our products in Middle East platforms. Ms. Nour.
Thank you, Ibu Masrura. Well, actually, it's a good question, especially about the trust, because all Middle Eastern traveler and Middle Eastern itself as working here, everything is based into trust. So the more you are active with them, the more all our Indonesian suppliers are also on daily basis on contact with this. I'm talking first as trade, so our trade here in the industry, to be connected with them, same as what Mr. Moustafa has mentioned. But everything in Middle East is based on trust. And the moment what Middle Eastern traveler want to see is whatever you see is what you get. So they're not about those, you see a lot of big advertisement and things, and then when you get to the destination, it was all a lie. So we have to make sure that if you are able to, if this is what the product is that you have in Indonesia, the way that you are promoting is actually what the traveler is getting to get. And this is actually the first step. Of course, the trust is like, we have seen a lot, we have talked about Indonesia in general, but we have seen more about Bali. What are the action about safety and then all this disinfection, sterilization that they have done as a work. So we have seen a lot of this, and this has actually started in our Middle Eastern traveler to see. I'm sorry, I'm just talking about Bali because this is unfortunately what we only saw. It was Bali being in action.
I see.
And this is why from this market, especially we had, so I look after Middle East except Saudi, but involving Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon, and the rest of the GCC market. So what people have been seeing is that, yes, Indonesia, it's big. Unfortunately, some people still doesn't know Indonesia as a huge opportunities and islands, archipelagos. They only see Bali. Which was good at this point because Bali has done a lot of effort. And then also, I've seen also from Igor, like we were sharing some videos in Bali, and we see how actually they left, they invest their time and then into cleanliness about the Bali area. Because don't forget that before we have seen Bali with viral video about pollution and things like that. So this has actually refrained the travelers also to travel to Bali because they believe like, oh, they are receiving tourists and they are like polluted the beach, for example. So it's mainly about safety, hygiene, but even in daily basis, not for only the traveler, but it's also between you as Indonesian trade industry to gain the trust with our trade industry here and put this relationship together. Yeah. But safety hygiene is definitely the main one. But we have seen it's getting there. And actually, as Moustafa has mentioned earlier, Bali is actually in one of the top destinations as soon as we are really able and are opening the airport and borders for Bali. You will be seeing it from the Middle Eastern traveler to choose Bali as #1 destination, and hopefully the rest of Indonesia.
Yeah. The second question about how Indonesian travel agent can share our product in Middle East platform, Ms. Nour.
Yeah.
We have not answered
it. Actually, it's also a very good question. We do work here with everyone in travel agent, tour operator, wholesalers, and the Middle East itself has a different way to work than European travel industry. Here, the top key players in the market are, like Moustafa has mentioned, in Saudi will be Sira, in the whole Middle East will be hotel beds, so big wholesalers, because those travel agents book by these big key players. How to actually do, we are in the phase, it's still we have to be seen so people can trust us. So social media is very important. So you have to maybe send to your travel industry Middle East that you have, even if it's a small group that you have a contact, just keep posting on social media. That's the only way. It's like, I always use this one, but you know, it's like McDonald's. They are known for 50 years in the market. They keep promoting, advertising. Now, even though everybody knows McDonald's, unfortunately, but it's always to be seen, social media. And then, and I think Igor has mentioned, so September, Indonesia is looking to open borders, right? So it's actually now the right moment to start promoting, not investing in terms of investing like budget, but like start promoting packages, getting ready into the structure of what kind of packages you have to offer. Especially, I like to also mention this, we have a really young population. The median age is 32 years old in the UAE, and is the same in Qatar. And again, it's same as in Saudi, the habits and trends are changing. It's not like it used to be 5 or 10 years ago. So we have to adapt, and they probably have like different package for adventure traveler, solo traveler, woman traveler, honeymooners, and have this option, because Indonesia is big. We have a lot to offer, and then this, unfortunately, some travelers do not know yet what we have.
So still a lot of challenge to promote Indonesia, right? And also another destination. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so sorry that we only agreed for 1.5 hours webinar today, and we still have another 5 more minutes. And our chair, Ibu Rusmiati, will deliver the closing statement before I conclude the discussion today. But again, we're going to arrange another webinar with the Middle East market. Don't worry about that. We arrange for that soon, as Mr. Moustafa suggests for us. Ibu Ketum, the floor is yours, Ibu Ketum. Ibu Ketum. Ibu Ketum.
Okay, yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, thanks very much for your presentation. I'm very glad for that. And then I just very clear, but maybe I thanks to Ms. Nour, because I know right now Middle East market 40% needs cleanliness and safety, and then also 49 choose type of attraction in relax, nature, and outdoor. And then also thank you to Mr. Moustafa VITO from Saudi. It is very also interesting. It is our competitor is not Singapore or Kuala Lumpur, but in Europe, because we will go to Indonesia. We need 10 hours, of course, just so long. So you need also, it is make a note for us to make it great and a good competitor price. So you can come to Indonesia, not go to Europe. And then also you mentioned need social platform. I will make a note also, Facebook group. I know also I have like a children from Saudi. He said the most important we promote from Saudi, you are mentioned social platform. It is, I know also from my student. And then what moderator said, I'm very happy we can make another special webinar. It is good opportunity for ASITA member. We will arrange for that. And then terima kasih Pak Igor, it is notes-nya bagus-bagus. Indonesia is calling you back. It is one is good mention. And then also Bali is ready with the new normal. And then also depends on the flight like Qatar, Emirates, what you mentioned, price will be higher because the capacity only 50% or 70%. It is so the price will be higher but more expensive. So I will discuss also for the flight. And then also thank you because you mentioned ASITA is very important role to promote. I'm very happy. And then also not only Bali, Batam, Jogja you mentioned, maybe for also another 34 province. And then thank you, Mr. Khalid, and then thank you, Pak Dadang, already mentioned, translate to English and Indonesia. Already 20 years you promote Indonesia, thank you very much. And then also you still have a problem in airport. We will discuss and we always discuss to resolve the problem that in the airport. Also, we will focus promote from government and ASITA promote to Middle East. That's on. That's all. One more. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Mr. Moustafa, I'd like to ask you to say another 15 minutes if you can, because there are some participants.
I've seen the comment. I've replied to Pakitut.
Because there are some questions from the audience. Because normally,
unfortunately, Ibu Masrura, I am committed with another call at 12. Which is 11 Saudi time, 12 Dubai time.
Anyway, I guess.
But I've sent my contact to Ibu to Pakitut. I've sent my contact. I've read. If the question is for me, please feel free to contact me. And honestly, I will put it now as well for everyone. So guys, I just posted. I posted my email. I posted my WhatsApp, and I'm ready to answer anything you want.
Thank you so much. Bapak dan Ibu, mohon maaf sekali lagi sebesar-besarnya karena kita sudah komit cuma 1,5 jam melaksanakan acara ini, karena biasanya kita 2 jam, cuma karena beliau ada acara yang lain sehingga kita tidak bisa melaksanakan 2 jam, dan saya barusan sudah tanya lagi, beliau ternyata tidak bisa juga, dan saya mohon maaf sekali Bapak dan Ibu yang belum bisa mengajukan pertanyaan, tetapi kita janji kita akan bikin lagi acara yang sama dalam waktu dekat untuk menghadirkan lebih banyak lagi peserta dari Timur Tengah, dan kita akan banyak diskusi di sana. Sekali lagi Bapak dan Ibu, terima kasih atas partisipasi Anda dan mohon maaf atas segala kekurangan. Again, thank you so much our distinguished speaker, Mr. Moustafa, Miss Nour, Mr. Igor,
Bu Masrura, Bu
Alin.
Miss Nour said she has more 10 more minutes.
10 more minutes. Okay, fine. Thank you so much. Okay.
Very good.
We're going to
you
say
very much,
goodbye
guys.
to Mr. Moustafa. Mr. Moustafa, thank you so much. Goodbye. Yeah, stay safe.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Baik. Cheers. Baik, saya akan kasih kesempatan, ada 2 orang yang dari tadi sudah mengajukan raise hand, yaitu Pak Firman dan Pak Ardana. Pak Firman, silakan Anda mengajukan pertanyaan ke Miss Nour.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
My question to the point. My question is there a relation between the Hajj and Umrah from Indonesia to Saudi with the amount of Saudian tourists to Indonesia? The second, The second, what are the tourists from Middle East dislike from Indonesia, from Indonesian tourism?
Okay, 2 questions.
I think that's enough.
Thank you. Pak Ardana, this time is yours to ask a question. And then later we're going to wrap it together and ask Mr.
Yeah, because I will not remember.
I will remind you later on.
Thank you very much. Selamat sore Bu Ketum, and good morning to Nour, and selamat sore to Igor. My company is Bali Sunshine Tours Bali. Actually, my market is ASEAN plus India and Sri Lanka. But I really would like to expand my market to the Middle East and Saudi Arabia. Frankly speaking, that actually I've been attending ATM one times in 2017. I think I met Miss Nour there too. Yeah, I tried to grab this market, but unfortunately I was failed. I don't get any tour operator engaged with my company until now. It's already 3 years, you know.
Yeah.
Although my presence there at ATM 2017, I brought my best product, best packages here for the Middle East and Saudi Arabia. But anyhow, I understand that Middle East, when they select Indonesia as their holiday destination, of course, they already have the picture about Indonesia, geographically, or people, or traditions, or climate, etc., etc. I believe so when they select Indonesia as their holiday destination.
Your question, Pak.
I was wondering, because I am in Bali, yeah. As you know, Bali is 95% are Hindu. The tradition is quite different compared with other provinces. My question is, when visiting Indonesia, as far as food or meals are concerned, especially Bali, are they always looking for halal food, or they can also take international or enjoy international food? Because in Bali, almost any kind of food, international food you can get in Bali, you know. Well, actually halal also available, you know, but when the people are traveling all over the islands, they can find any kind of food. Maybe when they go to the remote village, they won't find halal, but they will find other kind of food.
Yeah.
And then the next question is, because I really would like to grab this market, what actually they like to see or experience most when they're visiting Indonesia or Bali in this way. So I think that's what I would like to hear from Nour again. I'm so sorry.
No.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Pak Ardana, Pak Firman. First question from Pak Firman was the relationship with the pilgrimage and Hajj and Umrah. I think maybe it's not yours, but maybe you can help to answer.
Yes, actually, I will answer only what I know.
Yeah.
So now actually we are talking pre-COVID for Indonesia relationship with Umrah, Hajj, and Indonesian Saudi government. Actually, Indonesia was always on the top 2-3 of the pilgrimer coming to for Hajj. So you have Egyptian, Pakistan, and Indonesia was like on the top basically 3 coming, and this was pre-COVID. Then after, I don't know if you remember this whole when Saudi tourism opened. So they have facilitated the visa issue, the entry, so free visa, but Indonesia didn't get it still at the time.
Yeah.
So we saw that Singaporean had it, Malaysia, but still Pakistan, Egyptian, Lebanese, Indonesia, we still have they still cannot get it as the rest of some as the Asian country. Yeah. This is all that I know from the Hajj and Umrah, and I don't think it's changing anytime soon, especially now with the post-COVID.
Yeah.
So
the second question, what is the Middle East doesn't like about Indonesia?
What doesn't like? Okay, so good question. So actually, it's what I was mentioning earlier. They are missing they don't have the right image of Indonesia, and unfortunately, Indonesia itself. So I remember I started 9 years ago working with Kemenpar, so with Ministry of Tourism. Indonesia, when I had Middle Eastern travel, I remember my first ATM. We go back in time. They told me Indonesia near India, and I was like, no. So already I have to start word map from scratch, but then they start knowing. So yes, they don't know Indonesia, but then unfortunately now today everybody has access to internet, phone. Everybody will have like phone with us, and then we have always seen viral video. I always mention that is the pollution of the water, and unfortunately it was Bali. So when we used to promote Bali as diving or pristine clear water, the whole world has like I think was some, I don't know which journalist, maybe from UK, has put this virus video like, oh no, why you will go there when the water is that? But then we forget that it's not only Bali. You can go to Kalimantan, you can go to any places where you can have beautiful water. And this is why when we see something like this, us as the government or as travel industry, we should react straight away with positive message and videos, and then try to, okay, now they talk about that, we should add from Kalimantan and show them that you are wrong of what you are talking. So it's not like what they don't like. I don't think like they don't like anything. I think everybody loves Indonesia, but it's just like this pollution issue, and a lot have talked about dirtiness at the time.
Yeah.
So it's only that is actually stopping them. And some people are like, okay, then I will go to Maldives, the water is better. I will go to Seychelles or Mauritius.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the only part. But everybody loves Indonesia as like family friendly, Muslim friendly. So it's not an issue, but it's only this cleanliness part that we have had a problem with.
Yeah. But actually we have thank you, Ms. Nour. But actually we can promote other destinations that have a cleaner than Bali, actually, right?
Exactly.
Okay, next question from Pak Ardana. His question was, is the Middle East market always looking for the halal food or any halal cuisines when they're traveling to Bali? And the second question, what exactly they're really looking for when they come to Bali and other destination when they're in Indonesia?
Yeah. Actually, for halal food, the good thing is like now everybody knows that Indonesia mainly is the most big Muslim destination in the world. So anybody will know that we do have halal food in Indonesia. It's not a problem. And I also, Paketut Ardana, he mentioned that, of course, he looks after Bali mainly because it's Hindu population mostly. We've seen a lot of hotels, 5-star also sell. They always have a halal corner. The Middle Eastern traveler, no, they're not looking always for halal food.
Okay.
So normally when they go like 5-7 days, they can live without it. So that's why I know that you have a lot of Indian restaurants, you have like international buffets, so it's not a problem. And if they're staying longer, it's always better if they can taste like some meat, halal meat for sure. But if they're staying longer, so let's say somebody, a big family from Saudi or from Oman or from anywhere, Qatari, will travel for 2 weeks or more, 1 month, here because they will have most probably helpers coming with their family. Yes. Here they will ask to have this halal food because they will like to cook it themselves in some villas or hotel apartments where they would like to do it themselves. But it depends of really the time, the short time or the long stay that they are staying in Indonesia. But it's not all of them. Some of them can eat non-halal food. Of course, is always a plus. And don't forget that when you talk about Middle East, you also have expatriate living in the Middle East. You have Lebanese that are Christian. You have Jordanians that are Christian. So not everyone also is Muslim. So you do have, it depends. Egyptians that are also Christians. So it really depends. So not everybody is looking for this halal food. Is always a plus to sell our destination. If we have it all, is always better. But what I will suggest for especially the DMCs, the travel agent from Indonesia, if you have a group coming, a family coming, booking with you directly, or a travel agent or operator booking with you, ask them, do they require halal food? So even if they don't tell you, just take the time to ask them. So like this, you can prepare everything for them in advance and you don't have any issue, because this may be very last minute and ask you about it and then say like, oh, we forgot. So just you ask them the question in advance so you are sure. And this is what they like. They like to be taken care from the beginning. So if in this, sometimes they will add you additional, we want this, we want that, we want this, and bring me halal meat right now. So you just have to be ready. But it's better for the travel industry that you ask them before they come. Yeah. It's the easiest. This is what other competition has been doing, and they are succeeding this way.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Nour. Thank you so much. This is very open our insight that Middle East market is not only Muslim, isn't it? Yeah. But also from other, I mean, non-Muslim as well. So we not worry about that, and we can prepare as well for that. Baik Bapak dan Ibu, rasanya sudah cukup waktunya kita sudah minta perpanjangan waktu kurang lebih 10 menit dan kita sudah lewat sana. Saya akan sedikit membacakan konklusi dari diskusi kita hari ini. Miss Nour, I'm going to read the conclusion in Indonesia.
Sure.
Ya, but that's fine. Bahwa pasar Middle East ini sangat besar dan terutama pasar Saudi, teman-teman, bahwa Saudi itu menganggap Indonesia adalah second home mereka. Dan saat ini belum banyak pemain travel agent yang menggarap pasar inbound dari Saudi Arabia ini. Dan tadi Pak Moustafa menyatakan bahwa kita harus get connected ya dengan mereka sehingga kita bisa membawa lebih banyak lagi pasar inbound Saudi ke Indonesia. Dan tadi ini juga sebagai hal yang penting yang menjadi pertimbangan mereka untuk datang ke mereka juga sesuatu yang less fleksibel. Kabar baiknya adalah mereka memilih atraksi wisata yang bersifat relax, unwind, kemudian nature and outdoor activities. Jadi ini sangat cocok dengan destinasi di Indonesia dan kita harus persiapkan. Dan kemudian juga physical distancing dan cleanliness protokol juga menjadi hal yang utama. Mereka juga menginginkan offer teman-teman, jadi all inclusive package itu juga menjadi sebuah pertimbangan ketika mereka memilih untuk datang ke Indonesia. Yang paling penting bahwa persaingan kompetisi untuk merebut pasar Middle East ini tidak lagi di pasar Asia, Malaysia, kemudian Brunei, Singapura dan lainnya, tetapi mereka saat ini lebih melihat ke pasar di Eropa Barat, kemudian di Sentral Asia seperti Azerbaijan, kemudian beberapa negara di itu. Nah, itu yang menjadi highlight kita, dan tadi Mr. Moustafa juga menginginkan agar kita lebih banyak dan lebih sering untuk artinya travel agent Indonesia lebih sering engage dan mengadakan promosi dengan mereka untuk mendapatkan pasar yang lebih banyak. Teman-teman, itu yang dapat saya sampaikan. Dan satu lagi mungkin dari Pak Igor. Pak Igor luar biasa ini, Bali sudah sangat ready dan gaungnya Bali ini sudah sampai ke seluruh dunia bahwa Bali sudah siap, dan yang menjadi permasalahan adalah akan adanya perubahan kapasitas dari airline yang mengangkut penumpang ke Bali. Nah, ini yang juga menjadi perhatian juga karena dengan berkurangnya kapasitas akhirnya berkurang juga pasarnya, dan diingatkan juga bahwa kita harus bersaing merebut pasar yang sekarang menjadi turun mungkin sekitar 35%. Nah, itu kita harus bersaing dengan negara lain. Bagaimana kesiapan kita, bagaimana kita saling bergandengan tangan dengan pemerintah untuk merebut pasar yang semakin sedikit ini. Teman-teman, itu yang menjadi highlight daripada diskusi kita hari ini, dan kita mudah-mudahan akan segera untuk menyelenggarakan acara webinar lanjutannya. Buat teman-teman yang belum bergabung di ASITA, silakan Anda bergabung dengan ASITA, silakan bersama-sama kami untuk mengembangkan pasar inbound ini. Thank you very much for all distinguished speakers, Ms. Nour, Mr. Igor, Ibu Alina, and Mr. Khalid. Thank you so much for sharing for today's webinar. And we hope we can have another discussion or another webinar with all of you with another insight as well. And we do hope that we all stay healthy wherever we are. And again, thank you so much, and very good afternoon to all of you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Ibu. Terima kasih.